It's tabletop time.
Here's Dave.
She's Jen.
He's Rob.
And that's Jezza.
And today we're playing episode 10 of Reboot in Style. That's right, wearing our new line of merchandise invented by Lockie and Rob. Partially Jeremy, but he painted like paint on his shirt.
He trailblazed.
You and Lockie did that.
We forgot our shirt, and luckily we had some masking tape and some plain t-shirts, and it paid off well. So we've got our Tabletop Time shirt, otherwise known as I Forgot My Merch shirt, and you can check it out right now on our Teespring. And
join in supporting the channel and our dumb sense of humour. That was in 7 videos. It happened in one day. We made 7 videos in one day. And Rob forgot his merch, and it was immortalised, and everyone wanted it on the action.
Yeah, every video, people are like, Rob forgot his shirt again, and I'm like, no, I forgot my shirt once. But it was 7 videos.
This is a re-record of the intro, and it was meant to happen because I forgot to do the Patreon scroll, and there it is. Thank you to our patrons for supporting our roleplay sessions. Go support us on Patreon, or merch, or just watch the videos and click like and subscribe, because whatever way you decide to support us is so appreciated.
Can I throw out a new option, a controversial option, a very cool way to support us?
What's that, Dave?
If you know someone who you think would like the content that we produce, maybe suggest they have a look.
That's a great idea. Word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth is the most powerful breeder of good brand something.
Go check out Word of Mouth today with the link in the... No, hang on. That's not how... Oh, no.
It's just an organic growth
I can't
thing.
quantify that.
No, it's organic.
Do we get statistics on that in our analytics?
No analytics.
Guys, you're going to have to prove that it's worthwhile by doing it and see if it works.
Picture a montage in a musical, and now you know it works. Where they're all like speaking to each other, and then the word
Guys,
gets
he's
spread.
right. Just tell your friends about Tabletop Time.
And then send us your montages.
This is it, and we'll plug your channel. If you make a channel and make a montage of you spreading the word about Tabletop Time, we will feature you in a video. I guarantee it.
It's from word of mouth. I love that.
So, recap of episode 9. Jen, would you like to take it away?
So last time on REBOOT.EXE, we were at Sam's parents' place, and Pro had just had his blood taken from him. And we found out that the Sib's parents just kind of wanted to know more about Pro, but we left pretty much straight away. We went back into the slums. We encountered what once was the woman and the baby, which Eve found to her dismay, but there was no longer there.
Whoa, qualify that the baby was no longer there.
The baby was no longer there.
What does that mean?
I accidentally faded to black, ignore that. Go on.
You also started a riot, don't forget that.
I did start a riot.
Yeah, and then went in and stole the bread that you threw in to start the riot.
That's it.
You didn't mean to start
Takesy backsies.
No. Come on.
No.
You attempted to help someone in the slums by giving them food from the groceries, and we rolled a terrible destiny
they all
roll
misbehaved.
of a 1, and they murdered and beat and fought.
Yeah. And then I didn't roll very well either. But
It was a sad time.
so then we went back to Uglies. Eve got upgraded with a waitress and a escort. Is that what I put down? Yeah. Chaperone.
Maybe escort gives the wrong idea.
Yeah.
More chaperone and bodyguard for like the wealthy elite.
Yeah, she's not a pleasure unit yet.
Picture like 5 rich girls go to the club, and the 6th one is the robot who's kind of done up to like suit them and help them out. Sure. But if someone like messes with one of the girls, she will break their arm.
Yeah. Which Eve probably won't, but she'll try.
Eve fully knows how to now though with those upgrades.
True.
She got like 5 skill points.
So Eve got upgraded. There's a very interesting conversation with Incongruent and Eve as well, which I won't.
It was indeed enlightening for Eve.
And then we ended the session with Songbird coming into Uglies and saying that her friend has died.
Have we met this friend?
No.
Actually, it's worth pointing out that Pro hasn't met Songbird. Like, really.
You've seen her a few
I
times.
saw her day 1. I saw you interact with her from a distance. So this is my intro to Songbird. I've never met her. I was blackout.
But she's been in your
She's been in my
cube.
safe space, and you guys have like given her my fusion and shit. So like, it's interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, so we're entering in with a very distraught Songbird.
Excuse me. And so we haven't met this friend that she's.
That Amir is dead.
Okay.
Amir.
A-M-I-R or A-A-M-E-R?
A-M-I-R.
All right.
So, we begin. And I'll spare you the sadness, the blubbering, the crying, the tears. Over the next minute or two, Songbird rushes in and Ugly actually strides up to meet her. He drops to a knee, meeting her at eye level. Probably slightly lower than her eye level, but her leg kind of drops her down a bit. And from there, you can't really hear the full detail. She's very distraught and it kind of goes to a hushed conversation. Although you note in the body language that there's a moment where Songbird almost breaks down completely and she goes to lean in to Ugly as if to be hugged, embraced or comforted. And Ugly firmly holds her shoulders at arm's length. But he continues quietly talking to her. While this is happening, the commotion causes Jiang, the motorbike helmet girl with the leather jacket, to emerge from one of the side rooms and watch with curiosity. And after Ugly has seemingly got the information he desires, he pats Songbird on the shoulder and Jiang actually sweeps in a completely unexpected way, drops down and embraces the girl. She effortlessly picks up Songbird and walks her into one of the side rooms, sort of holding her. And Ugly stands up and turns to you, and there is a noticeable sort of anger in his eyes, and he walks up and looks at you all. We've got a problem. And as I recall, you guys owe me one.
What's the deal?
You strapped?
What, like, for... Oh, like, equipment?
Of course.
Not really. I mean, I just got my demo reel that you saw when you met me.
What about you, pretty boy?
More of a pacifist when I can be.
He walks around the counter behind the bar and he starts rooting around underneath a desk. You hear him pull out a drawer. He throws two what would be described by today real life standards as modern handguns. They're basically like modern Glocks. And he throws them onto the table loosely after slamming a magazine home into each of them. And he says, "Go on."
All right. Take one, like, pass one to Seb.
You know how to use it?
I'm sure it's pretty self-explanatory. What are we actually doing, though?
And then he takes the gun and leans it back away from you, and he flicks a switch on the side of it. Do you care that much if you know what that is? I'm actually going to get you all to make a firearms proficiency check, which you won't have. So I'm going to get... So it's a ranged weapon, so I'm going to actually call it reflexes.
Okay.
So we'll just make a reflexes base 3 check if you don't have a firearms proficiency. The two of you make it. The challenge level...
Just a standard reflex
challenge
check.
level is 3.
Reflex check?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you both fail. You have no idea what he's just flicked. For the viewers, he's just turned the safety of the gun off on both of your firearms. Okay. And he's like, if you don't... He's like, point, pull the trigger. So you pick up the gun.
But what are we actually in for at the moment?
What are you in for? We got a problem, mate. He just looks at the gun that's still on the counter and nods to Seb.
What do you want us to do?
We're going to go see what the hell's going on. Sounds like someone's out there murdering kids, mate.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And he just like puts his hand gently on the gun and slides it an extra 6 inches across to you.
We talking about that girl's friend?
That's right.
Okay. I'm down.
Pick up the gun, look him squarely in the eye, and say only as a last resort.
Sure thing, mate, but you'll find last resorts happen pretty quick out here. All right, let's go. You're needed too, robot.
Understood.
We might, who knows what could happen. And Incongruent steps in to block the exit.
Ugly, I should go with you.
And Ugly tilts his head and he said, I have a pretty good feeling that you should stay here. Look after the place. If this is what I think it is, we might be getting hit soon.
But,
No. Stay.
Understood.
And Johnny steps back and he kind of curls around you all, so his face is leading towards the stairwell, and he just crosses his arms and like thickens himself out to broad and stands there like ready for anything that could come down the stairs. And Ugly nods and starts to like hastily lead you guys out of the place. And as you walk and you go up the stairs and the robot does its thing and lets you out, he sort of starts to briefly discuss what's gone on. There it is. The beer burp. And he briefly discusses what's going on. All right, so sounds like her little friend's been killed down in one of the sort of flop houses, sitting.
Does her little friend work for you as well?
Nah, mate, but she always took shine to him. I guess that they kind of stick together out there. They don't know much else going on. They've got to look after each other. Anyway, didn't know the kid personally, but if it rattled Songbird that much, it pays to look out for her, see what's going on. Plus, I'm not too fond of people doing that sort of thing on the border of my turf.
What is this Songbird girl to you?
She's a lookout.
Yeah,
you're all walking, by the way. You're like pacing.
We're heading
Cool.
out. Since when and why? Why do you have a kid as a lookout for this operation?
Well, she needed money and I offered her a job.
Yeah, okay.
She's bloody lucky to have it, if you ask me. You've seen the streets out here. And you're walking past like shanties and lean-tos. People are giving Ugly a wide berth, though.
I get that bad shit happens, but I also get that sometimes kids can become beholden to the operation that gives them the work, whether they wanted to be in that situation or not.
She's got the free will, mate.
Yeah, well,
I pay her enough that
Till
she...
you withhold her fusion.
Hey, I pay her more than it's worth. So, she can get a job elsewhere. If she didn't want to live, well, I guess I didn't give her that choice. But I mean, who doesn't want to live, right?
yeah.
It's shit. I get it. It's a shit place. I get that too. But, she's a good lookout.
Sort of go quiet, keep walking.
Shortly after, a raggedy man with a pie tray bursts out in front of you. Destiny roll 9.
Might not have a pigeon anymore.
And he begins to demand, or like, hey, I have items for sale, and he reveals his tray, and there's basically just garbage on it. Ugly's just like, hey bloke, you better get out of the way. And Bernie just like looks at you guys and he's like, would you like to buy anything?
Just keep walking.
And he's like physically blocking you in the narrow street, like bouncing from person to person.
Shove him to the side.
Well, I figured Ugly was going to just shove him to the side.
Mate, this ain't the time. And we're off for Bernie. Again, Destiny 15. Okay. He's going to do all right. Bernie, but I've got good wet. And then his voice is cut off as Ugly's fist firmly smashes into his face and a spray of blood goes off to the side.
Oh, no.
And then he grabs him by the shoulders and just throws him bodily, like lifts him off the ground effortlessly and throws him into a lean-to of other people. And there's just this crumbling, like tent thing just collapses. And then he just storms down the street. The tray flies everywhere.
Just keep walking.
I'm going to go quickly check on him. I have to.
That goddamn medical assistant.
You go to walk on Bernie.
Quickly.
He seems to be. You have a quick look. He's like getting up out of the rubble.
His nose broken again.
He's got some blood all over his face. He looks like he's still. He had other wounds all over him. He looks like he's pretty used to being beaten up.
I offer him like a not like a bandage, but like a
You have
taut
bandages.
cloth or something. Yeah, like something that he can wipe his face with, essentially, like a handkerchief, but medical grade.
Yep.
I just offer him that,
He takes it.
and then I say, "My apologies," and then
Oh no, happens all the time.
I'll run off after back to the
Price of business.
What a trooper!
And you head off.
Yeah.
And you cross a seeming threshold. You notice a couple of these spray painted symbols over some of the other gang symbols, and noticing, Ugly says, "Oh yeah, this is Bomber Gang turf. We're right on the edge."
Is that the same one that had the gang signs around my soup kitchen?
I think your area is close. Yeah, there was the sprayed cogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the same district as your soup kitchen. He says, "Yeah, this is Bomber Gang turf, although I don't know what the hell that is." And he looks at the cog. Keeps pushing on. He's like, "This flop house is right on the border." And he turns like perpendicular down the street. You know much about the Bomber Gang?
No.
Boosters, yeah.
Yeah, boosters, absolutely. Name their gang after, well, this place, I guess, what it used to be called.
Essendon. Calm the Dons.
And now you've pinpointed where in Melbourne this exact part of the story is taking place. In Essendon. So you push on. And you reach an older apartment building that is kind of, very dodgy. And there's a couple of, the streets are clogged with basically people struggling to live, but you make your way up to the entrance. And there's a small handful, maybe 3 people out the front, gathered around the figure of an abnormally well-kept man who's standing at the entrance. I'm going to get you to make perception rolls.
Everyone.
Environmental. That would be environmental.
It is environmental
Challenge
perception.
Challenge of
You have the most punishing. It's
bad.
It's real bad, but I
real
love
bad.
it. I love. You're just head down.
Yep.
Yep. The challenge level on this is 2. It's not too bad.
Yay!
You noticed for once.
I perceived. Whoa, Jen did too. Eve did too, sorry.
That is 4 successes.
Oof.
5. Do I get anything special for 5?
You will. 2. What did you get? 4.
Lucky. Welcome.
Okay, so you note, as you approach, all of you note that there is a certain candor in the way that this man speaks that is both foreign and also really strange. It's not a way of speaking that you guys have really heard before. However, the scholar amongst you knows exactly what it is, and it's very unusual. He's preaching. This man is talking, and he's referencing religious texts, and he's talking like to these people in front of him about God, and that's very unusual in the streets. Yeah, and you approach. Do you just head straight in? Ugly's just walking with you.
I'm
Do I know like what religion it's from, or is it just...
If you listen for a little bit, you can find out, but you'd probably have to stop to take in his words.
He's spouting some type of religious nonsense. No offense.
Are there actually people in front of him listening? Or?
Yeah, there's like 3 people listening, and the description. He's an older gentleman, and he, as you approach, you recognize he speaks with an English accent, and he has like a fine waistcoat, like a 3-piece and a waistcoat, very classic look, timeless classic look, and he's sort of sitting there, standing up. But it's almost odd that he hasn't been assailed out here. But he's not, and you can see the gold trim of a pocket watch. He clearly has a sort of a feeling or a fanciness about himself that he feels that he should dress like that. But as you are sort of walking through the door, his eyes catch yours, and he looks up at you. He says, "Well met."
I'm just sitting back watching.
He's sort of, by the way, he's literally in front of the door.
Who's around?
Like 3 people from the slums. Oh, there's people everywhere milling in their homes, but in their shanties. But there's like 3 just street people standing near him.
I mutter to Ugly, sort of awkwardly, making sure this piece in my pants is sort of like hidden, or in my jumper, I should say, in my hoodie. Like, do you actually know where to find where we're supposed to be, where this kid was?
Yeah, Ugly told me the room. Ugly. Songbird told me the room.
In here?
Yeah, this is where she lives, apparently. Never been here.
And the man's blocking the way.
He's blocking the way.
Excuse me.
I'll approach him.
Okay.
I'll say, "Sir, you are required to stand aside."
He completely ignores you. Now, do you let this machine do the talking for you?
Get out of the way, buddy.
I'm taken aback by your abruptness and your rudeness. But he steps aside, and he says, "Worship not the false idol
Walk
of
through
the
and
machine."
ignore him.
Yeah, same. Follow.
And you push past.
Yeah.
Cool. And you stride through.
Yeah.
Are you staying or are you following?
No, I'll go. I'm just still.
There's the
sulking,
sound
to be
of
honest.
shouting from upstairs that sounds almost like a domestic. And there's a mutter of the indolence and the disrespect is muttered from behind you. He goes on talking about preaching again. You recognize even from that, you got a 5 on your perception. You recognize even on that brief window that he is talking from the perspective of, it sounds a bit like the Church of the Amalgam, which is basically a religious unity of the core tenets of Judeo-Christian religion. So it's effectively a blending of not only Christianity and Judaism, but also Islam. It's all that source from similar, that more talk about the message of the combined faith than any kind of separation of the faith. It's almost become so unusual, and religion has faded away to the point that that kind of happened out of necessity, at least in this part of the world, where it was more like, we have faith in a God and we believe in one God, so let's combine what we all care about and we all believe in and forget about the disagreements and the differences. So
In the building.
you stride in. Ugly pushes to the front and leads the way to a first floor room, and the door is slightly ajar. He pushes it open and you stride into a very small 1-bedroom apartment. In the center of the room, quite evident and immediately spotted, you see the shape of what you would guess to be an 11-year-old boy with a cybernetic arm, who has a massive and fatal gash across his torso that looks to have been sliced with a large-edged weapon. There is blood daubing the wall that is so apparent that even Pro notices it. And it says, "We silenced your songbird, Ugly."
Motherfuckers, what's this about?
And then he just looked up and he says, Ugly looks up and he says, "Well, fuck. Guess they got the wrong one." Kid, cybernetics. Yeah, I can see the connection.
Is there some turf war we don't know about here?
First I've heard of it. On the wall, the side wall as you turn around, there's a yellow cog sprayed.
Who wants to silence your songbird, exactly?
Fucked if I know, mate. They could bloody do a better job of telling me. So, there's more louder commotion upstairs and you hear a scream. Doesn't feel good, though. And suddenly there's almost a shift in Ugly, and he, like, cracks his knuckles and he's just like, "It really doesn't feel good. Thinking people are coming after me. People doesn't feel good. Do you reckon they're still here?"
No, just to have been sitting by the door, watching for anybody coming.
Yeah, cool.
I turn to Seb as if to signal, like, look around. Do you reckon this was, any signs of them being here?
I don't know what these people
You
want.
could roll perception. I'm looking to you to roll perception instead of me, is what I'm doing.
Okay, if I roll perception, can I see anything interesting from the doorway?
Go for it.
Can I
It's gone.
Can I investigate for any medical supplies?
Let's.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I can tell you straight away. No.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the slumming apartment.
Oh, just because I know he takes fusion.
No.
No.
Nothing.
Is there a challenge?
There's a couple of discarded canisters. Challenge level 4.
1, 2, 3.
Nothing.
Can I?
And a ton of twos.
calculate
Can you assist with what?
No.
my
It's fine.
perception?
No.
Oh,
You have to assist before they roll.
Yeah.
You don't notice anything. And Ugly looks around and he's like, well, do you reckon they're here?
They could be.
What do you reckon that sound is upstairs, hey? Do you reckon that's them fucking about?
Could be unrelated.
Query.
People scream in the slums.
Do you wish to investigate?
Yeah, you could say that. Let's go.
Let's proceed.
And he
On your horse.
turns.
Whoa. Before we do that, just, keep in mind there are other people here that could just be like songbirds, so we don't need to get messier than it needs to.
I'm feeling pretty
If we find the right
messy.
people, I get it. I want to fuck them up too, but you don't want to mess up the wrong person. Or, the undeserving.
I never mess up the wrong person.
Okay.
And he
I look at Seb and Eve just like, oh man, who have we got ourselves in with?
he slaps his hand on your shoulder, Pro, in what it's that classic move of it's a friendly gesture with all the wrong current behind it. Like he grabs your shoulder and squeezes it with a strength way too hard. Like your dad's awkward adult friend who
That's like-
crushes your hand in a handshake and you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
Pro's awkward adult. His dad's adult. He doesn't know his dad.
No, I'm saying a person's
Like-
dad.
Okay.
I don't know if you have
Pro's
those
not
friends.
relating to anything
Rub it
he's
in.
saying, but I am.
Rub it in.
And yeah, you feel like your your shoulder like click and crack almost under the pressure, and he's like, "Let's go," and he starts strutting upstairs. You hear like a shrill scream upstairs, and then a laugh, and he's like walking upstairs casually. He pulls his gun out.
I'm gonna
You guys
stay to
doing?
the back of the group.
I'm holding my gun warily in my hoodie, following. But I'm pretty nervous because I'm nervous that look, Pro's been avoiding confrontation, like good and bad people. So like, as much as Ugly's been helpful at the same time, this to Pro seems like a distraction from the main goal, and
Yep.
it could be Ugly getting unhinged. And if Ugly gets
said
unhinged, Pro doesn't necessarily have.
He said you owe him one.
Yeah, he said that.
Yep.
I get it.
All right.
So I'm following along. It's the only reason I'm
Sam?
following. Plus, there was a kid involved.
Because I used my perception before, in terms of the layout of this building, is there like dual stair? Like what's the
It's a single winding
winding staircase?
Yep, with
So
3
there's-
floors.
So there should theoretically only be one.
Correct.
Way out.
It's Australia. There's no fire escapes. There's only one way out. So, you climb. You reach the second floor landing. There is we'll call them a wastrel, leaning up against the wall. Ugly walks directly over to them, and in a move that is almost too fast for Pro to register, his hand darts out and grabs them by the neck. He lifts them squarely off the ground by their neck and pressed up against the wall, and they're immediately like, freaking out. And he just looks dead in the eyes and he goes, "Where are they? Where are they? The fuckers who did this downstairs." And the guy like panics for a moment. He just like points up, and Ugly just drops him and lets him sag to the ground, coughing and grabbing his throat. And Ugly rounds and begins walking upstairs.
I look at Eve nervously, like, oh gosh, what are we getting into? Did I just say gosh? I didn't say.
golly gosh.
Oh golly! Oh brother!
I want to say it out of earshot of Ugly as he's on his tirade and kind of say, Pro, I won't let Ugly hurt anyone that didn't deserve it.
Me neither.
When you reach, you didn't spend. Actually, as you round the second floor, I'm gonna get you all to make a perception check. Environmental again, challenge level 3.
God damn. Okay.
I'm sorry, you can't succeed, but that's your character.
1,
2, 3. That's 3. Cool. So Seb's gonna notice, but is
Eve.
Eve notices before. As you round the corner, you see that there is approximately in this building, each floor only has about 6 to 8 apartments, and there are 2 doors laying ajar, like torn open, and in one of the doorways there is a person like laying half out of the doorway in a pool of blood. There's an adult person, and you notice the glint of cybernetics on them, and you head upstairs. There is, immediately as you round the 3rd floor landing, there is a trail of blood up the center of the room, leading to directly in front of you, where you see a deceased person laying on the ground. They have, again, a cybernetic leg and multiple bludgeoning injuries all over them, and it looks like they've dragged themselves down the hallway to this point. The sounds of commotion are coming from the apartments on this level.
What are the people who have been injured look like?
Just slummers.
What age?
With
what?
old, rusted cybernetics. Some of them are like got fusion withdrawal. Some of them don't. The good thing, if you only have one prosthetic limb, you only need fusion once a week. So some of them with the older cybernetics manage to scrape by, meeting between sickness and health.
But they're mostly adults.
Mostly adults, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Following along again, just cautious of everything.
All right. As you get halfway down the corridor, you can now hear the sounds of directly what is happening. There is shouting, there is laughing, and there are multiple voices speaking. You distinctly hear the terms in akin to you are an
Bless you.
bless you.
Bless you.
They say bless you. No, they say worship not the false idol. And then that you are an affront to God's image. And then bludgeoning and screaming. There are 2 doors from behind which you can hear it. Ugly stops before them. And then he turns to you and he says, left or right?
I look at Eve.
Perhaps.
Left.
Perhaps. I imagine you're just going to go ahead and open the left one.
I'll nod towards the left door.
Perhaps ugly goes right.
I was thinking the same thing. You got the left one? We got people to save.
I just kind of stare at him. I don't nod or anything.
People to save. You're good? He pulls out his gun and like cocks it, ready to go, indicating you should follow suit.
I like pull the gun out of my hoodie jacket, like holding it with 2 hands.
Cool.
Move towards the left door.
And left door destiny roll. 16, so not
Okay.
too bad. How do you approach entering the door?
Is it sturdy looking?
It is.
How sturdy?
It's also unlikely to be locked.
Yeah,
sturdy
I
we're
would
talking.
say I'd
It's
probably...
just a regular wooden door to an apartment.
Would I
Yeah.
be able to kick it in?
You are
Not
a
me.
bespoke? Yes.
Seb?
Seb would, but it's also probably not locked.
I
But you
wanna-
can kick
I
it
still
in.
wanna kick it in. You've got your gun ready?
I got it ready.
What's my challenge level?
Challenge level to kick in this door is 3. Skill task. Strength check. You can use athletics, probably. Cool.
Hey! Well,
I didn't get it regardless.
Yeah, you didn't get it regardless.
Oh, dear.
give me a go. Just,
Knocks on the
You
door.
want to kick it?
Oh, he's-
Strength athletics?
He's
Yep.
already made a big
Go for
bang,
it.
so I might as well fucking go for it.
Bang!
Nothing.
You
He
that
just
was a critical fail.
Yes.
Can I? Oh.
You jar your knee so badly that you get a minor injury.
Yes.
So Pro like kicks the door and just almost dislocates
Seb
his
fails, I'm
fucking
like,
leg.
"Don't worry,
You
I got
roll your
this."
ankle.
Ah,
You kick it
Jesus.
and roll your ankle.
That's a really solid door.
That's great. Okay.
Can I try and turn the door here?
All right, hold on. At the same time,
Please.
Was it weak enough to sound like someone knocking on the door? Is my question.
not quite. Across from you at the hallway, while you
Keep trying to kick down.
while you flounder, the door explodes off its hinges with wood shards of the lock flying inwards, and you just hear "Surprise, motherfuckers!" and then just bang, 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 bang as a gun starts to blare behind you. But you've started to open the door.
Try to turn the door.
You turn the door and it just opens. But now The bedlam is such that you know the situation has just gone. Ugly has just taken it. Like, there's no surprise, motherfuckers. Doors kicked open, and then you just hear like shit is going down immediately, and you can perception check to get an idea of what's immediately in front of you, how quickly you ascertain the situation. So I'm going to get challenge level 2.
Okay, all right. That's a fail.
You're a critical fail again.
Yep.
You're hopping around holding your foot that you just fucked up.
Yeah, I'm like on the ground, like
Destiny roll.
distracted. Like
That's 2 critical fails in a row. Destiny roll.
That's a 3.
3.
Oh, motherfucker!
I'm gonna take
No! What is happening?
Pro.
I feel like
We're going to get back that in just 1 second. What is Seb doing? Oh my god, 4 successes. Okay, Eve,
finds a window and leaves.
5 successes. You
Falls out a
two.
window.
So I need to know your manner of approach. In this moment of chaos, so we're paused. I really need this clarity, so because I'm going to narratively flow it, but I don't want to take it in directions. You're like, wait, I didn't want to do that with my character. So there are guns starting to fire, doors being kicked in. You know there are bad guys on the other side of the door. Is your approach to, like, Eve's just thrown the door open? Is your approach to, like, charge in, walk in? What's the plan as you're entering?
2. Why are you rolling your own destiny rolls and
He's saying,
sabotaging yourself?
bang.
No.
Just seeing how logically Seb would behave.
I want to try something really dumb.
Okay.
Well, you rolled a 2, so fucking do it.
Because the door's open now, can I just barge in and be like, oh my god, something's happening?
Sure.
And duck on the ground?
Yep. You absolutely can.
In
Eve,
the
what do
room.
what's
Into
your
the
plan?
room.
Yeah, so
What's your plan?
And like gamber away
I'm gonna
from...
pull out that scalpel that I got before. But
So
I'm not
yeah,
gonna do
that's-
anything, but I'm pulling it to
Yep.
ready it.
We both...
And then
But I'm playing. It's
my plan of action is to not get in conflict,
Mm-hmm.
not get in the fray. So I want to go in, look at the scene, and then find the nearest wall for me to hide behind.
All right, so in this moment of chaos, this is immediately what happens. So the door bursts open. Eve starts to walk through. You run in and duck your head and go, oh my god, what is happening?
I'm playing, by the way.
Yeah, I know you're
okay,
playing.
Cool.
In front of you, you see there are 2 guys dressed fairly well, but they're wearing like old suits, buttoned up. Like the classic example is 100 years ago, really poor people going to church. It's their Sunday best, but it's bad. And they have cudgels, and they are just beating the crap out of this person, literally beating them to death. This person who has a cybernetic leg from the knee down. And in this sudden moment, you burst in and you suddenly hear a torrent of gunfire immediately behind you as Pro, limping and holding his foot, accidentally pulls the trigger. The recoil from his gun causing him to pull the trigger like 3 times and just like fire shots wildly. Destiny roll 10. They fly out the wall and out the window, and Pro's just limping around shooting guns, and I'm gonna say you actually like fall over onto the ground. Last shot just goes through the roof and you like lay on your back panting.
Guys, take cover! They're everywhere! Jeez!
You hear a scream, a gurgling scream from the other room that has been entered. The 2 people turn and look towards you.
This is too good. Look at that. The pretty boy
And his false idol, and they just turn up from the person who's beaten to shit and charge at you with their cudgels.
Me?
The 2 of you.
What did I do?
They're going at Eve.
So now this is
I need
combat
this
round.
Yeah, we're going combat now.
So reflex.
I'm going to RNG for these 2. Strength, reflexes, or dex. One has reflexes. Int, not dex. One has int. One has reflexes.
What is Pro's situation?
You're laying
prone
on
on the ground.
You're currently just out for the whole turn, at least.
For the turn.
For the turn.
But next turn...
You can get up and move in. Yep.
But what's my status injury-wise?
You have a level 1 injury.
Okay.
They just neg 1 dice.
Yep.
Cool. So, the 2 of you. What's your reflexes, guys? You do combat. 0 and 1. So we roll off for one of them. So he got a 1. I'm going to assume Eve's going to go first. and then we're going to roll off between the zeros. He gets a 1, and you get a 3. Okay, so you
I
guys
should roll just for future turns. Wait, they have 1 reflex?
1 reflex.
Yeah,
What
so
have you
do
got?
I.
1. So you roll for that one. 6 and 6. Roll off again. 6 and 6 again.
Oh.
4 and 1. Okay. So
what's the order?
the order is, I'm just going to write it down. The fastest person is you beat.
Me.
So the fastest is Eve. Then
Nice.
Thug 1. Then Pro. And then Seb. And then
Then
Thug
Thug
2.
Alright.
The smart Thug.
Let's do it, smarty pants.
All right. So, declaration in reverse order. The supposedly clever one is going to charge Eve and attack her. Then Seb.
Seb.
Can I tackle the nearest one?
They're both equidistant.
Can I tackle the
Which one?
going for
We're just
Eve?
calling them. So the smart one. Do you got to charge them? Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Pro.
I get up defensively to
Well, you're actually
recompose
you're out,
myself.
sorry, you're out this turn.
Yeah, like
you
I'm
get
like-
up next turn.
Yeah.
You're
I'm like-
currently on the ground. You just shot through the roof.
I'm recomposing myself.
The other thug is also going to charge Eve. What's Eve going to do?
Going to use my unarmed combat, like be there defensively, ready to embrace.
What's your plan? Are you going full defense?
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
we determine that's +2 dice. Or you could actually brace because you have the highest reflexes and you know they're both charging you, which is +2 automatic wins.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, let's do that.
So you're bracing, but are you planning to not actually hurt them, just defend yourself?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
At this point.
Cool. So we're going to go reverse order combat, so we know what's happening. So the first thing that happens is Eve braces herself. Then Thug 1 arrives, reaching them with 6 dice for their combat pool. They score no successes, so that's going to be bad for them. The dumb one.
Slips on a banana.
Then Pro. You're out, so then Seb.
Do I get a bonus for charge for attack? Like if I'm
You
trying
get +1 dice.
Yep. Is that it? So it's base 6
Plus
plus
1
1
dice. Yep. Well, base. Oh, yeah, because you have 3 and 3 and no. Yep.
Oh, good roll.
4, 5,
That was
6,
almost a critical
6
win.
Successes. You're charging this one that I haven't rolled for yet, and they roll, and they get 3 successes.
Which one was that?
The
Clever one?
Clever one.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
So level 3 injury. Level 3 victory.
They actually get 1 more dice. I didn't include their charge bonus.
Boop.
Okay,
Level
and
3
the first
victory.
one got 1 success, not 0. All right, so they get a level 3 victory. Eve, you rolled, didn't you?
No.
Oh, you should roll first. I don't know why we didn't roll you first. So you roll your combat pool. So unarmed combat.
Defensive one.
So base 3 plus stats. So 5 plus unarmed combat is 1 plus fists is -1.
So 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get 1 success. You're charging the one that got 3 successes. So it all kind of happens simultaneously. The guy who charges in to Eve, one of them got 1 success on Eve, but Eve's pool of 3 successes, you actually get to fight both, so you can defend that person off. Are you going to do nothing, trip them? What combat option would you like to pick?
I want to unarm them.
Disarm them? I
Disarm.
don't think... So you got 3 successes, yeah? Yeah, so 2 is not enough to disarm. You need 3 or 4 successes?
you could use the destiny point if you wanted to, but
Well, I'm proficient in it, but that's just combat.
She braced.
yeah, it's
Does
not.
that include her?
Oh, that's +2 wins. You got 5 successes. But you also declared that you were not going to hurt them.
Unarming isn't hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can disarm them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. I would like to do that if that's possible.
Disarm is actually only level 2 victory. All right, so the first one that comes at you 5 successes. Didn't you get 1 success? Why am I saying 5?
No. She
So I
got
got-
3 plus
Oh,
2.
okay. Cool.
You could disarm, or
Cool.
because you actually
and this
got.
guy got 4, but the other one got...
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, but you beat them both, basically. You fend them both off. You disarm one, and the other one you can stagger.
Sure.
Cool. You disarm the first one and staggered the second one. And you slam in with a tackle. How many successes did you get?
6.
6 successes. Okay, so you can pick... the person you charged got 3. So you actually have a level 3 victory on them.
What are my choices? I really need to write
Everything
them down.
except for
Trip.
insta-death. It's
Trip,
like level 3
serious injury. And I'm happy to take that as like you could slam their... Like tackle them and their head slams into a wall or something.
That won't knock him out though, will it?
No, because there's no function for knocking people out.
Can I break his leg?
You can't specifically break his leg, but you can go for his legs. You want to hurt him. Serious injury?
Yeah.
Okay. You tackle him and... Destiny roll 13. You smash him into the wall and something breaks in his body. Maybe it's ribs, maybe it's otherwise, but he like slides against the wall, seriously injured. Next
round.
Next round.
All right.
So we have
Declaration.
one disarmed and the other seriously injured.
So Clever Boy, which one is that?
The one that's seriously injured.
Against the wall.
Yep.
What's he do?
He is the slowest. He attempts to swing. Oh, he's the one that got disarmed, as well as being injured. Okay, so he attempts to just swing a fist up into Seb.
What's Ugly doing in all this?
He's in the
He's
other
in
room.
the other room.
Okay.
That's my...
Okay. Seb, what do you do? He's swinging at you.
You're first, aren't you?
No, it's you.
No.
Oh. Can I just punch him like square in the face?
Yep.
That's what I do.
Pro.
Yeah,
I think Seb's got this. I'm anxious about Eve.
Okay.
So I run to... basically, I grapple this guy from behind with a flanking bonus. I want to basically use this as an assist to make him as prone as possible.
Okay.
So that... I don't think... Well, I mean, let's put Eve's combat skills to the test.
So you charging in? Would you call that you going for the charge, or are you just going for a regular combat?
Do you know what? I'm just going to attack this guy. I don't think I'd leave Eve to be the damage dealer.
So you're just walking up and attacking,
Yeah, from behind. Because I have
You can only go
I
up
have
from
no
here,
honor.
right?
but you're not charging.
I'm flanking.
Yes, but you're not charging. They can be both combined.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Also, you're not flanking because you're directly in front of the guy.
Am I?
Yeah, because you're outside the corridor of this apartment.
Yeah.
Eve's there. He's in front. You'd be coming from behind Eve, so he'd see you.
Maybe I'm charging.
It's up to you.
I'm charging.
Yeah.
Okay, because if you say that you're charging, I immediately
Yep.
now say that
No,
the
no.
guy braces.
Yeah, I'm
But
just being pro's charging.
pro's charging him.
Yep.
I've
I've probably dropped... no, I won't say I've
He's got
dropped
neg
the
2
gun.
dice this round anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I want to basically like put his arm behind his back and restrain him.
So that's just combat. So you're just fighting?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So we then resolve. Eve, combat roll. 5 dice.
Well, okay, bye.
What's that, 5 dice drop today? In total.
Just one.
1 success. Alright, this guy can fight both of you at the same time. There's some little tweaks that have been talked about behind the scenes to how this is going to work, and I'm playing it that way in my head, so we'll call this homebrew rules for now.
Sure.
Basically, so his base roll is reduced by 2, but his brace bonus will only apply to pro. So he gets +2 wins, but I'm only applying it to
Yes.
pro because it doesn't make sense for him to get the brace bonus against everyone because he's only bracing against you. He gets 1 success on his dice,
So 3.
which is 3 versus pro and tied for 1. So even him are in a stalemate. Your combat roll?
Seems to be... I mean, I think that's it. 2.
2 successes. Okay. And...
Just smart one.
Oh, you had neg 1 dice. Did you roll with neg 1
Well,
dice?
I added 1 for charge.
So you
He gets +2 wins, I still get +1 dice for charge.
-1 for being injured.
Yes.
He only rolled 4 dice. I think that's
I'm just double checking.
That's right,
yeah, I'm just double checking. And what are you armed with? What are you fighting him with?
Unarmed, so...
So neg 1 again.
Yeah. Pretty sure I did that.
So 3 dice.
Oh, really? Reroll?
Because you would have had 5. What did you?
3
score?
+2 for attributes.
Yep.
-1, -1, +1.
Oh yeah, you were right. I'm silly.
Silly.
Silly. Okay, so last up we have the other guy who swings against Seb.
Cheat
Seb,
sheet came in handy.
roll your thing.
Why can't he roll first?
no successes. He's only got 2 dice because not only is he disarmed, he's disarmed, but he is skilled in hand-to-hand combat because he's a thug, so he compensates for his lost dice for hand-to-hand, but he's disarmed and he's seriously injured. 1 success. You had none versus his 1. All right. So this round of combat
Can I reduce that with my strength?
You can use your strength to reduce that for this combat. Cool. Absolutely. Meanwhile, even the other guy go toe to toe, but Pro, you take another minor injury as he slams a cudgel into you.
Sweet.
Cool. So you have -2 dice.
Yep.
I'm also going to be introducing another home rule. You ready for it?
Yep.
If your base dice pool would be reduced to 0, you fall unconscious.
Yep.
Is that for everyone as well? Like, it's a standard
Correct.
rule? Yeah.
Because there's no current way to fall unconscious, but if you stack minor
makes
injuries,
sense.
because injuries don't upgrade.
Yep.
So if you stack minor injuries up to the point that your dice pool minus your weapon, so just your core dice pool, which is in your case 5 dice,
Yep.
becomes
No,
0,
that makes sense.
you fall unconscious.
Yep.
Okay, so round again, more combat. Hey, 10 episodes and it's the first combat.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, we talked our way out of the first conflict.
So this is literally the first combat. Okie dokie. So we are
Not to
going
say
to...
we haven't come bloody close.
Now we're at the point where we're all just scrumming. Everyone's just in a scrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy
Yeah.
with that?
Yep.
Okay, so we're just going to roll some combat rolls to make it a little bit more efficient. So Smart Thug gets all his dice back because he's no longer staggered.
He wasn't staggered, he had a serious injury.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, that was
Dumb
not
Thug.
temporary.
Smart Thug is
yeah.
-3. I'm confused the two. Dumb Thug has 6 dice.
His ribs just
He's
healed.
fighting you two. You and...
So who
No,
is you?
Dumb Thug,
You're saying you a
Smart
lot.
Thug.
Just
Sorry.
for a podcast, let's just...
Let me refocus my brain. Smart Thug, the one who speaks proper and good like,
Yeah.
is just fighting Seb.
Yeah.
The dumb, brutal thug who is still armed is fighting
Pro and
both Pro and Eve.
Yeah.
So we'll split the combats for the sake of ease to dumb thug with his 6 dice.
And
He
Pro
gets 3 successes.
All right.
Pro, who now has 3 dice.
And a gun.
If you choose to, you're in close combat, so that would be even worse to use your gun. It's -2 dice. So fist is -1.
Great.
So you're actually at -3 now, so you have 2 dice.
So I'm not going to use my gun.
Well, you'd be at 0 dice if you used your gun.
Yeah.
So fist is... No, you'd be at 1 dice because you're in close combat. So you're at 2 dice with your regular fisties.
I'm going to declare to try and trip him rather than specifically injure him. A declaration of, like... Does that count as defensive when you're not trying to injure someone?
No, because you're trying to... The defense roll is basically you're just defending.
Not defense. There's...
Cannot achieve level of victory is the defense thing. So tripping him would be attempting combat. So if you want plus
does
2
he have...
dice,
He has a cudgel.
he has a cudgel,
Okay. I'm going to attempt to disarm him.
which that's a victory result, so it won't affect your dice pool.
Crap.
So you can pretty much choose to just fight, or you can choose to defend. Defending will give you 2 more dice, but you won't be able to
No,
score
close
victory
combat
levels.
plus 4d6 to disarm attempts.
You're not in close combat. Sorry, you're in melee, but you haven't declared with a victory level that you've moved into close combat.
Well, then I can
See.
use my fucking gun.
But-
Can't I use my gun?
No, you're in melee range. So when you're this is, can I just describe, this is another thing, Dungeon Coach and I have had a little talkie about this.
Yeah, okay.
One of the issues with terminology is close combat in everyone's mind.
Yeah.
They immediately think you're in melee combat range. Whereas what close combat is actually represented in the game terms is literally grappling on the ground with someone, like physically grabbing people and being in like knife stab through armor. So you're currently in melee.
All right, I'm just going
Yeah.
scuffled.
So you're not going to defensively fight, you're just fighting?
Think I'm just fighting.
Okay, 2 dice.
Huh? Oh,
2
shit.
dice.
Crap, okay. 2 motherfucker.
Both succeed
2.
though.
Yes.
Both succeed. Eve.
Can I use my scalpel?
Yes.
And I want to cut him.
Oh my god.
Your scalpel is going to give you, it's considered a dagger, so you'll get no additional dice. It'll just be flat 0. So you have the
But you
same...
don't get a negative.
What's that? Medical tools. No, so your proficiency, you have better dice. So close combat, -1. Scalpel, 0. And you have
Plus
proficiency in both. So you'll actually have 6 dice if you're using the scalpel versus 5.
Cool.
That's what you want to do?
That is what I want to
So
do.
you're going to fight him.
Yeah.
You don't have to declare exactly what you're cutting until you get your results if you hit him.
Yep.
Go for it. Sorry, we're
Hey, on Faulty,
inexpert
fighting
at
multiple
combat.
opponents, surely he gets a negative or a
Nope.
flanking.
Nope. Not as per the. You two are right in front of him, and he's fighting. He's quite capable of. He's a big bruiser. You score the same level of victory as him, so you two basically bounce off each other.
Yep.
He deflects your scalpel. He scores 1 level of victory on you, and he smacks you again, giving you another minor injury. Meanwhile, in the land of Mr. 2 dice versus you, was it 2 or 3?
I think it was 2.
He's
Because I rolled 0 successes and I was hoping you'd fail both, and it was 2.
He scores no successes. You score 5 successes.
That's critical success.
That's instant.
Yeah.
Critical.
What
and
do you want to do to him?
any
I'd like to
victory.
knock him out if possible.
You may knock him out by applying a -2 injury to him by my home rules.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. So you basically smash his head into the wall and he slides down unconscious.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, next round.
Eve's. No, you'll declare last. So
This guy's combat pool is divided by 2 is 3, so he can fight all 3 of you.
So I declare first. I'm stumbling back, winded, gasping, grabbing at my sides, and fumbling to grab the gun out so that I'm far back enough that I can shoot without it being a problem in combat. But I'm pulling out my gun to aim and to shoot it at him. That's my intention.
Okay, seeing you do this, he follows you and keeps melee range with you.
Okay.
He's higher
Well,
on
I've
the reflex
declared,
train.
so I've got the gun out. I'm
Yep.
going to try and shoot him.
Am I flanking him?
He doesn't want to get shot, is
Yeah.
all that's happening.
No,
He
yeah.
sees you pulling back and going with the gun. He's like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Am I flanking him? Because I charge
You
past
are, I'm going to say now that he has charged after Pro, you're both flanking him.
him. Can I
Eve
charge
and
and flank him?
you're probably too close to charge.
I
at
would
this point.
also like to
charging needs
tackle
10 foot. You're in the very. You're in. Imagine the little entrance of an apartment. You're scuffling in a 2 meter zone.
Okay.
So you can flank, but probably not charge. this range.
I'd still like to tackle him.
Yeah, fuck yeah, go for it. Okay, so I'll roll his dice. You all know what's happening.
Yeah.
His combat pool that you're trying to beat is only a 2.
Okay.
So you may roll.
I have 1 dice.
Correct.
I fail.
Rob.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4, so you beat him by 2, and Jen. You're flanking, so you get 2 extra dice.
Heck yeah.
Two.
Oh, just 2.
To the match.
2 successes, so you match. Okay,
God damn, I.
so stumbling back, you kind of, I guess, ease away from this guy, and he charges after you, and he says, "You consort with fucking machines!" And then he swings his baton down, and it smacks Pro square in the head for a medium injury, and Pro's lights out. He drops to the ground limply. You get a level 2 victory on him. What would you like to do?
Where is it? But I can't disarm him. He's got no weapons.
He's got a cudgel.
I thought he was disarmed.
No, you messed up the other one. The other one was disarmed. You basically stacked all the negatives on the one guy and he got owned. The other guy got staggered for 1 turn.
Can I do a medium injury?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
You
figure.
do medium injury on reflexes, man. Cool. And then quickly, next round, 4 dice versus you 2. You're no
Wait,
longer
what's
flanking.
he declaring? Is he turning to?
He's
I
just
guess-
turning to fight the 2 of them, so they're not flanking anymore.
Yeah.
But he's just rolling it out. He gets 2 successes.
1, 2.
You get 3. Jen. You're using your scalpel still. You get 6 dice. So you get 2, maybe 3. 2 successes. So you 2 match, and you get 1 level victory on him.
Stagger. So he gets -2.
Yeah, I'll go stagger.
Okay. You stagger him, and then we go. Seb declares.
I mean, can I try and pick him up?
You probably need to be in close combat to do that.
What I just tackled him.
Per the rules, you have to use a victory level to move into close combat. So you basically slam him, and then he goes into the wall and then pushes you back. If you're not physically in that close combat rule.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would be kind of too like powerful to just say I'm doing this, and then it happens exactly as.
That's fair.
What would you like to do?
I would like to box him, to approach him in a boxing match while he has a cudgel, mind you.
Cool. And you're just going to attack him?
Can I try and uppercut?
Yeah, hell yeah. You could try an uppercut.
Cool.
He goes full deflection mode and turns and begins to, like, backing away, run. He's trying to flee.
Oh.
Eve, what do you do?
Chase after him.
Well, you're going to chase him. Pro is laying bleeding on the
I
ground.
require medical assistance.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to roll a round of combat, and then it's up to you whether you pursue, because he's defensively pulling back. So he basically keeps his dice pool -2 from the stagger, but he gets +2 for going full defensive. So he has 4 dice. He gets 2 successes. You get 4, 5. So you can, level 3 victory on him.
I'm going to uppercut.
Uppercut.
There you go.
Rob!
Serious injury?
Oh, no.
Was that serious injury?
Level 3? Yeah.
I'd say there are
You
children
uppercut
watching
him
this,
with a
but-
serious injury, and his jaw smashes into the top. You see blood and like a couple of teeth fly out, and he just smacks his back of his head into the wall, and he just drops onto the ground completely limp.
Then I straighten my suit jacket, crack my neck.
What you doing? Medical check? Okay.
Pro, you require assistance.
Make a nursing vocation check on Pro, challenge level 3.
What's the base for nursing?
You've got the proficiency on your page. Intelligence. You should be good at this, I would hope, being that you're a nurse bot. And you fail.
Can I use a destiny point?
If you'd like to. Okay. So Eve burns a destiny to look after Pro. She leans down, picks him up, and begins administering first aid and ensuring that his concussion/unconscious isn't going to lead to death.
Give you a few baby Nurophens.
Yeah.
Okay. So, there is one person in this room that is currently perceptive. I'm going to get you to make a perception check, challenge level 4. And I'm going to roll the destiny roll.
Is it the fact that the gunfire is stopped?
15. I'm just going to roll your perception challenge level 4.
1, 2, 3, 4,
5 successes. You hear a gunshot from the other room and a shout. The 2 assailants are unconscious, and Eve seems to be fine managing Pro.
Alright, I fucking head in there.
So you charge in to the other room. You see, as you walk in, the door has been kicked off its hinges. The first thing you see is that there is a man slumped in the corridor in a pool of blood, wearing similar Sunday best sort of look. At his side is a baton. You stride in to see Ugly. Yeah, you can pick up the baton. To see, you heard a single gunshot, and you walk in. Ugly is standing there. His shirt is ripped. Oh, he usually doesn't wear a shirt. Today he was wearing a shirt. His shirt is ripped down and open, and he has a slice across his torso. There is a guy directly in front of him on the ground who there's a machete left out, and he's wheezing. There are 2 other slumped figures in the room. And the guy is wheezing, and momentarily, like as you walk into the room, you see the second gunshot as Ugly raises his pistol, aims it at the guy's other leg, and pulls the trigger. Just bang! And the guy like whimpers and clutches at his leg, and he's in a pool of blood. And Ugly's just grinning. There's blood on the machete too.
Have I heard Ugly talking at all? He's not asking questions?
Now that you're in the room, you probably could hear it.
Was he asking questions or something?
It sounded like he's kind of done asking questions.
Well, if that's the case, I say if this one didn't answer, I got 2 more in the other room.
Lovely. And then he leans down, grabs the guy by the scuff, and pulls him up. And the guy's like head lolls backwards, and he's like, "Did you hear that, mate?
There's 2 more of them in the other room. Sounds like we got your whole fucking crew, doesn't it? Real good when you come in here and pop off.
And as he says pop off, he just pulls his gun, shoots a shot into the guy's abdomen, and then he's just like,
Real fun time that you guys had. Well, it's really lucky because I've had a really
fun, and he like shoves the barrel of his gun and presses it into the gunshot wound and starts twisting it around. He's like,
because I'm having a real good time too.
and I'm going to roll a sort of a self-control check. He rolls a 19.
Okay.
Question. Mm-hmm. Is that 19 is for ugly for self-control check? Is 19 what he wants or what was human?
You guys decide.
I would think...
Is that what ugly wants to happen? What he wants to do?
It's like higher sounds more like control
Composure.
and...
That's what I thought.
Things
Okay.
in-
You guys feel composure. You see ugly, he has his gun, he lifts the guy's head is on the ground. He doesn't lift it, he already was. He drops into the ground, he gets his hand and slides it into the head. And you see his thumb round in, and he starts pressing his thumb into the front of the guy's eyeball and like pressing it in. And then he looks up at you with a glance.
Yeah, can I just like...
He looks up at
Dump
you.
the arm.
He doesn't need you to calm him because he rolled well.
Yeah.
He looks up at you, and then he just like nods slightly and just casually in like a heartbeat just pulls his gun up and shoots the guy in the center of the head and drops the head. And then stands upright. The 2 figures on the other side of the room are squirming. And he says, "How'd your room go?"
It's only 2 of them.
Only 2 of them? Yeah, I got 4.
Pro's, not well.
Not well. I was proud. One of you guys was cracking some shots off in there. You hear it from the other corner of the room.
He was cracking shots off!
From the other corner of the room, your peripheral vision, you notice one of the figures starts to crawl towards the room, towards the door, and without even a moment, Ugly just turns the gun and just fires a shot into the lump, and then just the guy just sags down, and he's like, "All right, so you want me to do an interrogation on him?"
If you want. Do you need anything? Did you find out anything?
Yeah. I found out some stuff. Look, I'll show you. And he walks over to the last writhing figure on the floor. And then he says, he picks the guy up and he's like, who is it again that you really, really, really want to see? And you hear this like whimper as blood gushes out of broken face. And he's just like,
This guy really wants to see his mama.
isn't that sweet? Good information. Should we go find her?
Oh.
I don't think you'd appreciate that, seeing what you've done to his friends.
You're right. And we should take him with his friends. He grabs the guy with the collar and just starts dragging him into the other room with you guys. Looks down and he's like, well, fuck, he's the mess, isn't he? Good thing we brought her along.
Blood down his face.
Just bludgeon. Fucking soft-faced first geners, hey? Anyway, we got 2. 3. Throws the other between the 2 unconscious people. What do you think of them?
They don't seem like the smartest lot.
Wake him up, he says to Eve.
He points to the...
So, no, he points to Pro.
Can I wake Pro up? Or do I have to...
I'm going to say you Destiny on your medical check. You could probably give him a little something. Little smelling salts or something to wake him up. Cool. So you crack the smelling.
Oh, God.
Wake up. You are feeling not good. There is blood clouding your vision.
Like hazily looking around and up and sort of wrench slightly.
Ugly helps you to your feet.
You said that Ugly's got a massive cut down the front of him, yeah?
Yeah, a gash across the torso.
And that's fresh.
Yes, but it's already coagulated, even though it looks about a centimetre, like at least deep, from a machete.
Yo, jeez. What's going on?
Oh, well, I just did some talking in my room, found out these guys came in here and killed a kid, a couple of innocent people. Apparently they got a problem with cybernetics, mate. It's probably why they bludgeon your head in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
I approach Ugly and say, not just cybernetics, drones too.
Well, Fuck, you got a beef with him too then, haven't you, robot? Well, look, I really gotta know, guys, because this is it's a big moment for me. I'm out here, my usual crew's not with me. I got them holding out the fort, because when I hear people are trying to hit my people, I gotta protect my people. You know what I'm saying? I'm out on the front lines, and I'm gonna decide right now if you guys are my people.
Hey, I can be your person, but frankly, I think you can tell my place isn't particularly front lines.
Mate, it ain't about how good you are. It's about the spirit. You know what I'm saying? And there's a moan on the ground. He just boots the guy that's still conscious in the ribs, and he says, the spirit of it all.
I'll do what I gotta do.
Fucking that's what I want to hear, mate. And he grabs your sidearm that you've probably dropped on the ground and picks it up and puts it in your hand. And then he says, go on, he's yours.
Ooh. Okay, I'm going to destiny roll to see
What's low, what's high?
Well, that's a good question. I'm going to say high isn't shooting.
High isn't shooting. Okay.
Yeah. 13.
It's close to the middle. Easing on control.
I aim up the gun. My hand's slightly shaking. I'm obviously pretty nervous at this point, but I try and mask my nerves and feign loyalty and shoot towards the collarbone.
Cool.
And feign weary, I'm weary and I'm injured.
But do you deliberately miss?
Yeah.
Okay. The shot flies wide, and Ugly smiles, and then he holsters his gun, and he sidles really close behind you like a golfer, like the golf pro teaching. And he actually slides his hands up the side of your torso and lifts your arm with both his hands and pulls your aim inwards towards the guy's chest and steadies your hands with his hands, holding you around from behind. And then he says, I can see you're a bit woozy, mate. Try again.
I look at Eve. What expression am I getting? I look at Seb.
A blank slate. I'm gonna roll destiny again.
Yep. Oh, this is absolute psychotic power play stuff at its finest. This is not
see.
normal.
Here's the thing, and just so it's clear where Pro's at this point, this is beyond anything his experience so far since escaping the organization he was in. This is the closest he's been to being back in that place, being in the grip of someone's control, someone's psychotic control.
Can I make a perception check for Ugly? Yeah.
Can I walk over, put my hand on where their wrists are joining and push down, say to Ugly, we've helped you, but you got to do your own dirty work.
4 successes.
What do you do?
I walked over and I want to push the gun down so it's not aiming at him and say, we've helped you out, but you can do your own dirty work.
He looks up at you and he notices you, and before when
you say you said you.
Sorry, Pro, he is still with you, but he notices that you're unease, and he just gently whispers in your ear, and then he says,
I'm going to say, frankly, sorry, just to add to that picture, but he'll notice that Pro's been shaking, but frankly, he's a kid. He's
17, 18. Yeah.
So he's starting to he's holding back tears, but he's this is fucked. So he's this is really messing him up. And
he softly, very almost inaudibly says just into your ear, he says, weren't your lot more about sending people to hell than granting mercy? And then he steps away from you, but leaving your gun aimed where it was. And then he turns to Seb.
I turn around and I say, they weren't my lot.
He looks at Seb. This ain't dirty work. This is the cleanest work there is. If you think you can come down into our territory, into our world, and think that you are above it, And he gestures to Eve and to Pro in this moment. He says, above it. He thinks he can walk in the filth that we live every single day. And he thinks he can walk above that without getting dirty. You can walk through this and still think you're above it all. And you can let these people live to go on and kill more innocent people. Because what? What's that achieve? What, some moral victory for yourself that you can go home and feel better about yourself? Well, I say you're going to go home and think about all the people these three are going to fuck up day after day when I let them walk out of here.
We could do that. We could continue the cycle, or look at Seb. You make where we are better than filth.
And you do that by cleaning up the kid killers.
Think bigger, man.
There's no jail out here. What other justice is there? What do you think? Someone's going to go and put these guys into rehab and teach them how to behave? No spank on the bum here. It's fucking dead, or it's become dead.
There's a bigger scope than this. There's more that we can do than just keep this fucking cycle going.
He turns and
you kill the kid killers, they grab more kids and kill those kids. You think the cycle ends when you kill someone? It just starts somewhere else.
He spins his gun and hands the handle towards Eve.
Yeah, I take it.
You take the gun and he says, they kill kids.
I'll attempt to shoot one of them.
You can just execute them. So Eve just gun up and just shoots a guy in the head, torso. Yeah. Single shot sounds
where I
off.
know they'll...
Head.
Yeah.
Just single shot sounds off as Eve raises a gun and fires straight between the eyes.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, I know I can trust one of you.
Part of my soul just died.
I'm going to leave.
I follow along with Seb.
I hand the gun back to Ugly.
Destiny roll for Ugly. 16. Well, I bloody thought I had him. I really did. I thought I could trust him, you know? They're too naive. They're gonna die out here, you know that, right?
You are a cruel person to put that weight on anyone. You are lucky I am here and do not have to bear that burden.
Look, here's the thing, right? One of them thinks he's holier than thou. The other one, well, he's done more fucked up shit than I can even think about. I've looked into his background. The circle, I mean, come on. The amount of shit. Yeah, I was under their duress, but you can always choose death. So, I'm surprised. I thought he would have taken it out on these pricks, but, you want me to finish them?
Do what you will.
Tell you what. I'm going to center myself. You go. Take your friends back to the hideout. Let them know it's been sorted. And I'm going to do some working out of frustrations.
I'll leave.
He shuts the door as easily as he can because it's not broken behind you, and you hear the soft sounds of things breaking in the room as you walk away.
Meanwhile, I think Seb and Pro end up out back on the street. not sure what's going through Seb's head, but I feel like Pro's going like brink mental breakdown. In fact, I'm going to roll. Okay,
You're good.
19.
You're good.
All right. I keep my shit together, but I end up, just by virtue of trying to get through, first of all, the trauma, and second of all, the conflicting emotions and sort of PTSD.
You're brink of, like, you're woozy as shit.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You're like walking around, like, stumbling
So
with blood all over your
collapse
face.
on the ground
Yeah.
and like hold it in. I would have like, do I scream? Do I cry? Do I collapse? Do I whatever? And I just end up just flat and just crank. I just put my headphones over my ears and pull my hood over and just play the music and sort of crawl up,
Sad.
sit against the wall.
So we've gone back to the soup kitchen or the hideout.
Oh, you're currently in the
Outside
building
of
still.
the street,
Oh,
yeah.
so do you get to the street
Get
before
to
you
the
collapse?
street, yeah.
You walk out the front of the street, and the man standing there says, "Well, traveller, you do seem rather worse for wear."
I'm completely ignoring him. I've just got
You
blaring music in my headphones.
Can I pick him up? Like,
So you coming out with him?
yeah,
You pick him up.
yeah, not like carry, like just shoulder him, so like he's got support.
Yeah, if you let him. Eve's a little bit
Yeah,
behind.
yeah. I'm just sort of dazed.
Yep, so you're just standing up the street
No,
waiting
no,
for
I
Eve.
wanted
You're
to head
aiding
back
him.
to our-
Okay, you're going to wait for Eve or no?
No.
No, okay. So you're starting to head back?
Yeah.
As you leave, the man looks at the two of you and says, "Your friend is awfully injured."
Fuck off.
Well, good day to you, sir. And as for you, those awful things will get you killed.
Completely ignoring him.
You are, but he still says
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
He points to your cybernetic and he says, "Those awful things will get you killed." And as you take several steps down the street, you hear a brief scream and shattering glass as a body gets thrown from the third floor window and hits the street below. And then behind you, you hear a, "Well, I guess that's my cue to leave." And then the preacher walks away. And shortly after, Eve walks out, but you guys have
I
left.
think we're heading back to the kitchen, yeah.
Where do you go, Eve?
I'm going to go back to the hideout.
Uglies or theirs?
I'm going to go back to Uglies.
Okay.
Oh, this hurts.
She's going rogue.
This hurts.
Going rogue.
Eve, what are you doing?
You, 10 minutes apart, well, 20 minutes of walking through the streets, you arrive. Have you done anything or just left and walked straight back?
No, just made straight feeling for Uglies.
There is little. You arrive back at Uglies and Incongruent looks at you, looks you up and down.
Eve, are you okay?
I had to make a difficult choice. I'm scared my friends won't understand.
I'm sure you made the right choice.
And he steps almost into your personal, like not uncomfortably into your personal space, but he steps into like good friend zone. And then he says,
May I?
and he lifts up from a pocket what looks like a handkerchief.
Yeah, I'll take it from him.
No, he doesn't offer to
Oh,
give it to you.
yeah.
He just moves it towards you.
Okay.
And he sort of wipes your face a few times, and then he pulls it away, and you see it's like covered in blood.
Oh.
And then he pulls it down and he says,
Outings with Ugly can be eventful.
Almost ugly.
You get used to it. I'm glad you chose to come home.
and you two head back to the hideout.
I'm either going to shut off or need to talk about
We're
it.
in the soup kitchen or the hideout?
You've gone to the soup kitchen.
There's a shower there?
That's what you wanted, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's close by.
There's a shower there.
Yes, there's a shower there.
Yeah. Can I point? I point Pro towards the bathroom and say, go wash yourself up.
I'm destiny
Your mess.
rolling. High is I need to talk about it. Low is I'm shutting the world out.
mid, but
Yeah.
slightly on the lower
8.
side.
Yeah. I just sort of, as I sort of drift towards where Seb is indicating, I just sort of mutter, I spend my whole life making the choices others made for me, and it only fucked everything up. I'm willing to do bad shit, but it's got to be the shit that I choose to do. I just walk away.
You made the right choice tonight.
Pro's heart is broken. It's like his sister killed someone and did the thing he just would not do. So his like heart is broken that Eve did that. He sort of gets it, but at the same time is like really personified Eve and attached a lot of his hope to this thing that someone could be in his head, and that shattered.
Cool. So you guys low-key shower
Yeah.
and stuff the next hour or so?
Yeah.
Ugly's hideout. About 40 minutes later, Ugly arrives. He is covered in blood, drenched, head to toe, with white eyes blaring out and a smile on his face as he walks in, looking calm, looking serene almost. It's done. Well, the first step, it's done. Hope that sent a message. A little bit stronger than their message. And he spots you. What are you currently doing 40 minutes later?
My goal is to go check on Songbird.
So in the 40 minutes, you've ascertained that Songbird is basically asleep now. She has very irresponsibly been given a tipple, a little bit of booze by Zhang, but mostly comforting and crying. And she's asleep right now. But Zhang is is with her. And you're surprised that there's some kind of familiarity there. You only know that Zhang is a booster, and, well, a booster you assume because she has cybernetics. She never takes her helmet off, and she apparently had her tongue cut out. But that's about all you know about her. So it's surprising that she's always been aloof, but she's apparently being very nurturing towards Songbird.
Does she communicate in sign language, or does she?
You haven't even seen her communicate. She literally, in the time you've seen her, she just is completely...
Okay.
You know she does cybermancy, though.
Okay, I attempt to say hello.
She's in a room.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Incongruent has been guarding the door, and there's been a couple of people come in and out, just casual regulars drinking and hanging out with the new bartender that is not SFect.
It's pretty much as soon as I know that everyone's okay,
So you're in the main room.
I'll head out. But
Blood-soaked Ugly comes in. Do you react?
no, I go to leave.
He walks over to you with a smile, and he gently grabs the sides of your head, pulls your head slightly forward, and kisses you square on the center of the forehead. And he says, "You fucking beauty. You guys just get it." And he says that really quietly and half gestures towards Johnny.
It's just like, you just get it. You get it more than they do. God, I hope you guys inherit this earth, not us. Oh my gosh. You did good, and I know it was hard, but you got a home here. You're one of us if you want to be.
Does Incongruent make a shift or anything?
He just nods.
That? Okay. I pray that you don't put anyone in that position again.
I love your protection. You're protecting them. I get it. But I'm protecting them. Because they gotta be harder or they're fucked. Did you hear what their dream is? He wants to take down one of the largest trafficking organizations in the world, and he thinks he can do that without getting messy. They think they can do this. Oh my God, they're so naive. I don't want them to die. I want them to win. Don't you get it? I just want them to see the power in themselves. They don't have to get kicked to the dirt by these bastards, but they gotta grab life by the balls.
It is interesting. The comparison you make is like a father with their child.
Well, I guess you're all my kids out in the slums. I gotta look out for you.
Perhaps, But it is always best to understand the well-being of the child first.
Yeah, well, tough times gotta breed tough kids.
Do you intend to help Pro and Seb? Truthfully?
Yeah. Fuck. I'll tell you this honestly. I'm all in on their plan. I'll fucking give it everything. It kind of aligns with my own dreams. But, we gotta be on the same page. And if we're in there in the thick of it, if we're fucked back up against the wall, do you think I can handle little wow-wares next to me, crybabies that can't pull the trigger? No, I can't have aloof Mr. Pretty Boy walk away, go, I'm too good for this fight, and leave me to fucking die for them in their mission. No way. Not Johnny either. Not any of my people. If they can't show me that when we've lost people close to our own, they can go in and they can go in hard, then I can't go in hard for them.
So you seek loyalty above all else.
Fuck yeah, what else have we got out here? If you can't give everything for the people that are yours, you can't give anything.
Understood.
You gonna go see him now?
Really.
He scruffs your little chrome dome. He's like, get out of here, kid. Go and look after yourself.
I just leave.
He actually, just as your last steps out the door, did you leave your guns there?
No.
I think I've got it.
Yeah, I would have walked out with it.
Oh, no,
Okay.
no. Eve got mine.
No, I gave it back to him.
Okay, so I don't have a gun.
Cool. You don't have a gun?
But Seb does.
The one that Pro had that's sort of covered in blood, he offers it to you. He says, if you want to protect yourself, it's yours. Bing bong.
Do I have a way to conceal it so it's not super obvious?
You can just get a bag or something.
Yeah, look. I ask if he could put it in a baggie for me so it's not super obvious.
Can I have this takeaway?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll take it to go.
A brown paper bag, and he drops the gun into it.
Right, it doesn't look super suspicious. Okay, cool. No worries.
Cool.
I want to make my way to the soup kitchen, and before I do, I want to stop in at 7-Eleven and get like 20 burritos and like 50 Slurpees.
Well, there aren't any in the slums. You can actually, there's probably a kebab joint all the way on the van.
That'll do.
But it's going to be an hour round trip to walk there and back.
Yep, I'll do
Okay.
it.
Halfway through your round trip, an old man with a bleeding face,
Oh my God.
well, it's coagulated, pops out. He says, hey, you're that robot. How you doing? He's got this
Bernie.
little tray. It's Bernie.
Hello, Bernie.
Hey, geez, you look a bit messy.
Perhaps.
You got a little bit of, well, you've been in the Bernies, haven't you?
I will
He
look down at my
smiles.
clothes.
You got blood on your clothes.
Yeah, okay.
Like all over you. So
Well-
you've been in the Bernies.
Well, I am a medical drone. It is not uncommon.
You're a bloody gem. He says, channeling ugly for some reason.
You punch him in the face
Well-
and it's like,
Yeah, he contracted some ugly.
Revelation.
Yeah.
Anyway, you want to buy anything?
I will see your wares.
He flops down his tray, and he has what looks to be a perfectly functioning commercial tier cybernetic heart.
And that's it.
And trash.
Yeah.
Literal garbage.
I see you have acquired a cybernetic heart.
Yeah.
We've already asked him where he gets his wares
Yeah.
from, haven't we?
Oh, a little bit from here, a little bit from there. Anyway, do you want it?
I am not in the market for such an item.
We could gamble for it. I'll trade you for what's in the bag. Do you really want to give him a blood-soaked gun?
My thought process is, does it have prints on it? So, and do I know that...
Who cares? No, there's police don't matter.
Yeah.
There's no police out here. There's no law out here. The closest thing to the law is the gangs and ugly.
I don't want the heart. No.
He's like, oh, well, have a good night, and wanders off. Then you go get your burritos, come back to the gang.
Like kebabs.
You arrive an hour later with food. What do you guys do?
I'm on the couch in the back of the room with like music blaring, sort of facing away, and just like
Cool.
tapping into
Door
my
opens.
laptop
Eve
and
walks
stuff.
in.
Heart stops, sort of ignore, stay focused on what I'm doing.
Seb?
I'm not going to ignore you.
Cool. What do you do?
I'll go over to Seb and I give you a kebab.
I don't take it.
I put it on your lap or your side or on the
Just
floor.
place it on
Yeah,
him.
or on your head. Like
Cool.
I walk over to Pro. I also place kebab on your lap.
Slash.
I have
Next
a
to
laptop
you.
on my lap.
Okay, I'll put it next to you then. What that mean?
I'm going to destiny roll. High as I talk to Eve,
Yep.
low as I don't.
Hey, 14.
Okay.
I'm gonna like sit next to you. Imagine you're on a bed or a bench or something.
I'm not hungry. Feel sort of sick to the stomach.
After what you've seen, I'm surprised.
It is natural for you to feel that way.
How do you feel?
I don't.
I know you feel something. Something crossed your face when we were in that warehouse, and I did that to that bot. It was a reaction, I get it, but what was it?
Do you think what happened in the apartments has anything to do with that?
I don't know, but it's been running through my head, and I don't know what to think or feel anymore, because I don't get it. Everything's fucked, Eve. The world is fucked and ugly is right. There's no fixing it, and if you're in the dirt, you get dirty, but it took everything I had to leave that place.
Are you listening to our conversation?
Loosely.
Yeah, okay.
And the only thing that's keeping me alive is the spark, the hope, the need that it can be turned around one way or another. I don't know. Maybe that's just stupid. Maybe Ugly's right. What am I fucking trying for anyway?
Pro, what happened in that apartment was the only emotion I could show for both of you. I couldn't let either of you do it.
But you know what I was hoping for? A little humanity.
I suppose,
If we do what Ugly wants, the world becomes ugly.
That's good. That's the episode.
If that's what you want, then keep doing that. Show them we're loyal, and you'll be safe, and we'll kill the kid killers, and the others will come out, and you'll kill those two, and you'll get dirtier and fucking dirtier. I've seen it. I've fucking done it. You don't want that. I don't want that, and I'm not going to make that choice whether someone holds my hands to get me to or not. And I would hope that you could hold back from doing that too. I thought maybe you were better. I turn off the music on my headphones and tap back into my laptop.
okay.
And then Pro gets a destiny point.
That was really good.
That was good.
That was really... Because I was like, you guys are stupid, ugly, 100%, all the way. And then I'm like, oh my God, that's a really, really good way of philosophizing your character's position.
Yay, thank you.
I'll just power down for the night.
Like, I get his logic. I'm not saying it's the right thing, but I
Yeah.
understand his path.
Oh, I could have been loyal. Would have been quicker. You know. But yeah, you got to. I think the thing.
I
that
think
we're
he's
learning-
reading
yeah.
the situation wrong, personally, but I understand the logic.
There's an eraser on these pens.
Look, the reality is, if that happened like 2 minutes earlier or before he was knocked out, he would have killed the guy. But the difference is the way that was being twisted.
Tell you really
Of course,
invested in
it's the
stuff.
power dynamic
Yeah.
that he actually
Yeah.
really disagreed with, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, though,
These people deserve punishing and being killed, and in that
there's
moment,
no police and no jail. So if they get left there, they get up and go back and do it again.
No, but it wasn't going to happen.
What do you mean?
If we didn't shoot them, it wasn't like they weren't going to die. Ugly was going to do it, and we should have all known that. He literally just went on a rampage. There was no reason for any of us to pull the trigger. There was certainly no reason for Eve to pull the trigger.
Except he wanted you to.
I don't give a shit. I said to him, like, we can help you, but you can don't do your own damn dirty work. Like, yeah, I can walk around here pretending I'm better than everyone just because I don't want to slump to their ideals of murdering someone.
His fucked up view of the
No,
world.
I get that. I get that.
okay. I feel like that's probably where we wrap up the episode,
Yeah,
unless
for sure.
Seb wants
well, the
to
good
say
thing is
anything to Eve.
we didn't have a break in the middle, but we can have a bit of time with Twitch chat because it's earlier.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that was a solid.
No cliffhanger
solid
tonight, except for the intense tension
It
between
was
the party.
there was some
That's
closure,
enough.
but you know what? There's the story of our group is being written in stone.
I feel like we've all been divided.
I didn't think.
Have
that
we
Eve
all have
was-
like I think that when the thing is like if you have these conflicts, there comes the opportunity to strengthen the ties that bind. So it depends on where Eve goes. It depends on what Seb and Pro do. We're all in the same place again, and how we regroup can affect a lot. Or if we don't, you know, Eve's obviously got some other connections and potential opportunities that are coming up, and Seb and Pro are obviously very heavily going to be having to question where they're going with
So
this.
my issue is trying to reconcile the Eve that helps orphans and kids and pregnant
Yeah.
ladies on the street versus Eve, the person that just murdered someone in cold blood.
Here's the thing that I think that you guys, a lot of people will be thinking that I don't think of. Eve doesn't feel emotions.
No.
Like you do. Eve is.
Yeah, she was-
Eve is three
in a way,
days
she did that
ago-
being protective of us. She was protecting our emotions and our like.
yeah,
I get
and
that.
I think that's why she did it.
but I
It's
think
also not the first time.
It's also not the first time she's killed something.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Eve, I said it in Twitch chat briefly on chat, Eve is emergent sentience. She is literally learning what these emotions feel like. So she's probably akin to like a 2-year-old in their concept of emotion. Like sometimes they might just squish the bug. Like she doesn't have a full grasp of everything yet. She's learning. And the influence that she has is going to change how she learns and how she develops. And, you know, do you want your kid falling in with the bad crowd?
let us know in the comments where the hell do we land in this weird ass grey
And
area.
who's the bad crowd?
Yeah.
In this
Jeez,
world?
where the hell is this
Maybe
gonna
you
go?
two are the bad crowd.
I like how this is just getting messier and messier, and I'm just more and more invested.
Yeah.
It's so good. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for episode 11, but my God.
See you in the next video! Perfect.